Welcome to the Water Trough, where we can't make you drink, but we will make you think. My name is Ed Drozda, the Small Business Doctor, and I'm really excited you chose to join me here as we discuss topics that are important for small business folks just like you. If you're looking for ideas, inspiration, and possibility, you've come to the right place. Join us as we take steps to help you create the healthy business that you've always wanted. Welcome back to the Water Trough. This is Ed Drozda, the Small Business Doctor. So here's a question for you. What do you do when someone says no? Well, they could say no in response to a whole host of things, but think about the times when someone says no when you are looking to get a positive response. I could certainly say no, I'm not interested in that. I could say no, as in no, thank you. But when you are actively engaged in a selling situation, when you're actively engaged in an idea presenting situation, the word no and that which accompanies it can be pretty disheartening, brutally honest, but very difficult to accept. We've all been there. You're moving in for the close of a sale, and the client, the customer, what have you, looks at you and says, no, I'm not going to go that way. No. Don't want that. No, not interested. Don't need that. The first instinct is, perhaps anyway, to cringe, hopefully inside, as we don't want people to see our outward reflection of disappointment, even though inside we feel quite that way. But how can we turn that no situation into a positive situation? Let's start by reminding ourselves that everything is accompanied by an option. Yes or no are two very straightforward responses, and so we can't assume that no won't happen. And while we might not like it, we have to expect that it's at least a 50-50 probability that it will. Having said this, and knowing that no will occur, how can we turn this into a positive situation? The internal angst that we feel when we're rejected is very difficult to accept sometimes, but it is quite a motivator. That is, unless it gets in the way of our motivation. That is, unless it becomes an explicit demotivator. And it can. So this is our opportunity to turn no into something positive. Or, as the old saying goes, when you're given lemons, make lemonade. In order to make lemonade out of those lemons, I think there are two things that are important to keep in mind. The first of these is, how ready were we when we entered into this situation where the no decision was made? The second thing is to consider what sort of information can be provided by the person who delivered that no decision. Now, you're probably saying, listen, whenever I go into a situation, I'm always well prepared. I know what I'm doing. I've planned ahead and I act accordingly. Naturally, we all would like to think this, but when we're faced with a no decision, we have to acknowledge the fact that the causes for that can, among other things, include ourselves. That is to say that our delivery may not have been quite what we thought it would be. Our offering may not have been as enticing as it could be had we presented it in a slightly different way, and so on and so forth. So we really are best served by looking at a no as a learning opportunity. And by looking at ourselves, first of all, by looking at our preparedness and that which we did, which led to a no decision, we're going to walk away with valuable information. The second thing to consider is that we can learn from the individual who made the no decision. We can learn more about what gave rise to that decision. Now, here again, just like questioning your own preparedness might seem awkward, you might be thinking, why would I want to ask somebody why they said no? And I'm not suggesting that we'd come right out and say, why did you say no? But engaging in a conversation that helps us understand why the no decision is made can guide us in future encounters, helping us to hone our approach. Information provided by the person making the decision will help us to understand our clientele and our customers better. Knowing ourselves and what we've done for preparedness, as well as knowing what gave rise to a no decision, is information that we can use to our benefit. Again, no may seem disheartening, but it's a learning opportunity which we shouldn't pass by. No can be a great motivator if you choose to let it. Most of us, to some degree, are going to find ourselves a little downtrodden, a little upset, maybe in some cases a little angry when we hear no. And that's okay. It's a fair response. It's a reasonable response in the immediate sense. But we do have the option, we do have the choice to then go on and say, okay, fine, what can I do better the next time? No is just the tip of the iceberg. And there's not one among us who can say they've never experienced a no. No's are part of the package. It's part of our expectation that they're going to occur. But taking that no and turning it into an opportunity to assess and then take appropriate steps to hopefully prevent that from happening again, or at least to reduce the probability of it happening again, is worth the effort. This is Ed Drozda, the small business doctor, and here at the Water Trough, I want to wish you successful no encounters and healthy business. Hope to see you soon.